Ultraman, here he comes from the sky. Ultraman, Ultraman, watch our hero fly. Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your, what did I call myself? Ultimate agent of Ultra Action? That'll work. The host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters, as you well know. Today it is Thursday, which is Ultra Thursday, or Live Action Thursday, depending on what show I'm reviewing. And we are going to be talking about 2 episodes of Ultraman, and neither of them are my favorites. Though I like them both more this time than I had previously. But before we do that, please like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment, especially leave a comment. That always helps. I like reading them. And also, always hit that notification bell to be reminded of when we have a new video up. Because I think we're doing both Spotify and YouTube at the same time now. Because Spotify kind of hosed me yesterday. Be that as it may, grab yourself a big old bowl of hummus of perfection, your favorite delivery method, and let's get on with it. Today's first episode is Terror on Route 87. So you can see the 87 right there. And this is called Omura Park, which according to Japanese master of monsters, yes, I did that on purpose, August Ragoni, is a real place, and it still exists, although the Hydra statue does not. It's either Saboten Gardens or Saboten Park or Zoo, which Saboten is cactus. I'm probably mispronouncing that, so my apologies, but thank you, August. I really appreciate your knowledge and expertise. Statue was there still in the 90s, but and also episode 5 was shot there, the Green Mons episode, The Secret of Miroganda. Just didn't feature the structure there. What else? He also said it was in Kamen Rider and Kikaida. You can see it in lots of shows. Anyway, something strange is happening here in the mountains. Now, this episode involves a dead child. It's not the happiest of episodes. It's kind of strange. The English dub is a little more vague than you'd want, but it's not bad. It's very interesting because the kid has been killed in an accident by Muto Akira. Akira is his name, on Route 87, of course. And there's strange things happening there at the park. And look at this, is just, I mean, they must ski there or something, maybe? I don't know. There's Fuji, and here's Akira, who's dead, but he shows up anyway. And nobody believes Fuji when she says, "Did you see that kid?" And they didn't. Look at this outside, but the park's beautiful. I mean, I'd go, even if the Hydra statue is not there anymore. I don't know if it's a Hydra statue. I should have asked Augie that, but I did not. Hydra was played, of course, by Teruo Aragaki, and then we know who Ultraman was. This episode was first broadcast on November 27th, 1966, directed by Higuchi Yuzo. See, I believe this is just a bit of a forced perspective shot, but that's the real statue there. And then there's our heroes. That's his school teacher or somebody, I guess. And now Hydra comes to life. These are some really atmospheric shots, and unfortunately, the lighting or the transfer of this particular episode could be a little better. It moves better than it should. There's his wing. I just liked it. There's the statue below. So that's how big he is. It looks more like a griffin than a Hydra, but what do I know? Maybe it's a male griffin. They're called Keithongs. That's one for you there. Well, never mind. And right away they attack it. Science Patrol doesn't always think before they act sometimes. Unfortunately, it can breathe fire and retaliates. And it flies in a most unusual manner, as most Japanese monsters did at the time, without flapping their wings, but that's okay. There's a nice process shot of the real area and Hydra flying into it. Obviously, it hates trucks, so Akira was killed by a truck. Now, Space Giants did an episode very similar of this later on in their series. It did beat the Ultra series to television by a week, but they're not really even despite them being called Space Giants or Magma Taishi, depending on what you want. They're not really giants like Ultraman. They're closer to human size. They're not nearly this size, but it doesn't really matter. It's a fun show. But they did a similar episode about a boy getting killed in traffic and his father going crazy and monsters attacking. Hydra's kind of impressive. It's kind of dopey looking. It's not my favorite monster. There's both of the ships. Now that they've got them both, they're going to use them both. And there you go, Route 87 or 87 Route. Another truck is going to bite the dust. This one has a guy in it, and when Hydra throws it down, it explodes and obviously kills him. Spider shot is used. Zap. Doesn't. Oh, it actually hurts. It blows up the truck or something, and it was a trap, and injures Hydra, which is interesting. We don't actually know where Hydra came about from. Hayata's been injured, and it's his left arm, fortunately. Using the beta capsule, Hayata becomes Ultraman. Flying in. Here he comes from the sky. And the fight scene, it's hard to get fight shots, but he's still favoring, Ultraman is favoring his arm. So I thought that was interesting. I thought it happened with Dodongo and in the Mummy Man episode, but I was wrong. Because he gives him a judo chop and then favors that arm. So Hayata's injury and Ultraman has the same injury, which I think is interesting that they never expound upon, but he just can't fight properly. Hydra actually knocks him down because of that injury, but they go back to fighting. See, there's the right cross. Ow, ow, ow. He tries to zap him with the Spacium beam, and it flies off, and he gets ready to do it again, and then he sees the ghost of Akira there on top of the Hydra. What the hell? I mean, really, what's going on here? It's an interesting episode, and metaphysical or mystical, we just don't know. Now, and we never will. Fuji sees it, Ultraman sees it, they just fly off. Then they get back. There's the science, but everyone's looking at the statue, and there's the park. It looks like a miniature, but that's really the park. The end. So it's confusing a little bit, and I should watch it subtitled and see if that clarifies things. The Ultra Series fandom was not even that helpful. So, but Augie was. There's really no Kyoko Kitagawa as the Akibano Boys Home staff member that we saw there. Other than that, it's called Omuro Park in the episode, and Augie told me just recently that they designed the whole episode, or the monster Hydra, around that statue so they could use the park. I love the time capsule sort of element to that. All right, here's our next episode, which is Breach the Wall of Smoke, featuring the monster Kemular, or Kemlar, probably better. Kemular is played by Kunio Suzuki, and this one was originally broadcast December 4th, 1966, once again directed by Higuchi Yuzo. So it seems to me that these Ultra series just did 2 episodes per director, like in a row, which is why you get a common sort of thing for an hour, but you wouldn't know. Kemular is the smoke monster. I think because I would say it was the smog monster, but I don't know what its subtitle actually is. Poison gas monster. So you can tell what this episode's going to be about. Beautiful Japan again. Outdoor shots. This kid is finding dead doves or pigeons. And these 4 dopes are going up there, drop an apple into a poisonous pond, and it blows up. And out pops Kemular. So, which just exhales poisonous gas. This is it. Nice map there. Fuji is sent out to look because I don't remember why they send her out in the mini VTOL. And of course, Hoshino, pardon me, he's not Hiroshi. Hoshino tags along. Look at his Billy Idol. He's trying to get that Billy Idol haircut look going on. So this thing can land vertically and then lower itself, which I thought was a nifty shot. The miniatures are wonderful here. And here's a nice force perspective with that. And they're talking to a guy who runs wherever they are. What is a reptilian? Let's see. Say where that is. Picnicking, but Omiyama is where it is. So Hoshino, yeah. So they're both together, and Hoshino's dressed in his science. But how do they not notice extra weight in these things? Just like Speed could never figure out that he had 100 pounds of kid and chimp in the back of the Mach 5. You can tell they filmed this outside because look at the wind blowing her hair around. They're back in here. They're ready to take off, but something's coming out of that volcano-ish area, and of course. I left out a whole bunch of stuff because the smoke overpowers Fuji and Hoshino. Science Patrol immediately sets out to find them. And I just love the miniatures here, the way it's so imaginative and creative. They had to figure out how to do this by hand. And of course, when Kemular shows up, they just zap him right away. I mean, yeah, granted, he's noxious to the area. We don't actually know why where he shows up from. Let's see if we can get a history. Crater on the Mount Odake. Primitive amphibian. So, hey there, Agent Frog. It's an amphibian. It's gigantic. It doesn't really say why it's there. It just lives there. I mean, was it bothering people? It was killing things. And if it's hungry, it's going to show up again. Lovely shot there. And Hoshino's got to take off because he woke up, so he's got to save Fuji and fly the mini VTOL himself. There's Kemular can shoot what looks very much like spacium rays out of its tail, but Hoshino saves the day and Fuji. The army is called in, lots of the army. I mean, it's surprising that Japan has such an easily mobilized army to attack a monster, which fails. Now, this is the weak point. It's actually the heart of Kemular. It was just called a weak point, I believe, in the English dub. So it's been a minute since I've watched these. They're, like I said, neither of these episodes are my favorite. But look at the paint job that they do on Kemular's wings there. Really nicely done. More zaps as it shoots all the tanks. Goodbye. I'd forgotten that Kemular did a city rampage there. I think that's pretty darn cool. Let me see if I can find out where it's... this is Kemular still. We go back a page, and it rampages through the city. Omiyama or Omishi, it's got a slash there, so I don't know what the real one is. And it's invulnerable pretty much to everything except unless you hit it in the heart, which is vulnerable on its back. It's an odd place to have a very an organ that can be hit easily. Another special effects shot there with him running away. Hayata's plane gets blown up and he's flying through the air. But while flying through the air, he uses the beta capsule and becomes Ultraman. And the zap doesn't work because you can't get to him. So, Ito has made a new gun, which conveniently they use to shoot, they're going to use to blast the heart. So Ultraman, they have to team up with Ultraman. So this is an episode where they do have to work together or they wouldn't defeat this monster. Now, the monster really didn't deserve to get killed. Look at those teeth. You didn't know. I do believe frogs have teeth. But he didn't really, he wasn't really doing anything that he couldn't do. So unfortunately for him, and in a later episode, he is one of the monsters they express remorse about. Hoshino, in the cold weather, yells at Ultraman, and somehow Ultraman can hear him with his ultra hearing to expose the heart. So they have to turn him around, and kaboom! And then the poor critter crawls forlornly back to its crater, jumps in, and then kaboom again. And that's it. Apparently, that's it. I don't know if Kemular has ever come back again. Uh, he's in Mega Monster Battle, the Ultra Galaxy Legend, and then it was remade, of course, in Ultraman: The Ultimate Hero, which I don't remember. I still have somewhere. We could we'll review them maybe someday. You can watch them on YouTube. And now everyone's going to visit Fuji in the hospital, but they're surprised that Hayata's there because they thought he was dead. They're all excited. Fuji gets a little bit out of shape, and then they shower her with presents and flowers. And then it ends in the strangest way possible. I've never seen an old. This is the only one, as far as I know, where it circles in on Hoshino's face. You almost expect him to say, that's all, folks. But he didn't. However, that is the end of the episode, of both episodes. So, as your humble agent will say, that's all, folks. I don't do a good Porky Pig. Not a big fan. So, sue me. So, until our next assignment, this is, hold on. This is X7 signing off until our next Ultra assignment or musical menace tomorrow.